Kusawanika kwava Obert Mpofu muzvinhu zvakawanda zviri kuitwa zveZANU-PF koshowa akorakidza akusawirirana kuri kuitika mugango remutemo rebato reZANU-PF. Kusangana kwatinoita pano pamagaba news patinoisa nhau dzinenge dzakasiyana siyana maererano nenhau dzinenge dzichiitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe, kunyanya dzematongero enyika dzamusingakwanise kubutsirwa nebato reZANU-PF munodziwana pano pamagaba news, tichiti kana pane vachangosvika mukana wekubaya button rakanzi subscribe. Zuva ranhasi tauya takabata nhau yava Obert Moses Mpofu, vanova a prominent ZANU-PF politician, vanova vakabata bato reZANU-PF kwemakore akawanda, vakamova Minister of Home Affairs from 2017, ende zvakare vanga vagadzwa pakatorwa chigaro cheutungamiri nehurumende yava Mnangagwa in 2017, ndipo pavakazopiwa chigaro chekuva ZANU-PF Secretary for Information and Communication Technology. Chinova chiri chigaro chavakabata kubva 2018 to September 2025, ndipo pakatangira nhau yese sezvo position iyi vakaibviswa. Paita mashoko ekutaurika muZANU-PF vachinzi vari kudivi rava VP Chiwenga, apo pakaendwa inova kwavakaenda kuCongress, inova iri nhau yakaita kuti muruzhinji rwenyika yeZimbabwe igotaurika. Asi Obert Mpofu kubviswa kwavakaitwa paposition iyoyo vakabva vaiswa paposition yeHusecretary General of ZANU-PF, ende chiitiko ichochi hachina kufadza vaObert Mpofu sezvo vari kuonekwa mumisangano yakasiyana siyana yaitwa yeZANU-PF, panova panoungana mapolitburo members, panova panoungana maCentral Committee members, havachawanikwe mubato reZANU-PF. Asi munhu anga ashanda madecades ari mubato reZANU-PF kubva pahurumende yaThe late Robert Mugabe kusvika panguva ino yava Mnangagwa, sezvo zvarakidza kuti haasi kufara nechiitiko che2030 chiri kupushwa bato reZANU-PF nekuchinjwa kwakakaitwa position achisuspektwa kunzi ndiye anogona kumutsurudza chiitiko chekuti Mnangagwa abviswe, sezvo panhoroondo yekubviswa kwaThe late Robert Mugabe vari kunzi vaObert Mpofu ndivo vamwe vakaplaya role rakanyanya pachiitiko ichocho. So according to news, Obert Mpofu for signal deepening tensions inside ZANU-PF. The shifting dynamics within Zimbabwe's ruling party are once again under the spotlight as the apparent political decline of Obert Mpofu raises fresh question about unity, succession, and the future direction of ZANU-PF. Nearly a decade ago, Mpofu stood at the center of one of the most defining political moments in Zimbabwe modern history. In 2017, he played a key role during the dramatic event that led to the removal of Robert Mugabe and the raise Emerson Mnangagwa as the chair of the party, meeting that formalized Mugabe's expulsion. Mpofu was widely seen as a strategic figure in the transition, earning him significant influence within the party. At the time, his political future appeared secure. However, fast forward today, and the situation looks markedly different. Mpofu, recently absent from national events, including this year's Independence Day celebration held in Mapisa, has drawn attention. Traditionally, figures of his stature are almost always present at such a high-profile gathering. His absence has been interpreted by observers as more than a symbolic. It reflects a broader shift in internal party dynamic. This comes after his domination ahead of the ZANU-PF annual conference in Mutare last October, where reports suggest a restructuring effort targeting individuals perceived to be aligned with the Constantino Chiwenga. The moves was widely viewed as planned part of a broader internal realignment with the ruling party. Observer recently moved signals of growing rift within ZANU-PF have become increasingly visible. At the center of this attention is the unresolved question of succession. Though Mnangagwa remains firmly in control, they are indicated of a pressure within the party, particularly involving Vice President Chiwenga, who has been linked by both supporters and critics to possible presidential ambitions. Those aligned with the Mnangagwa has reportedly raised the concern about these ambitions, suggesting that competition may be interference between the scenes. At the same time, Mnangagwa himself has remained publicly silent on the issue of succession, a stance that continues to fuel speculation and uncertainty. During the recently Independence Day address, Mnangagwa chose not to directly engage with the ongoing succession debate or the controversial constitutional amendment bill number 3, commonly referred to as CAB 3. Instead, he focused on social economic challenge facing the Zimbabwe. He highlighted the concern in Matabeleland South, pointing to a high level of poverty and unemployed that have contributed to increase cross-border migration across different age groups. The president emphasized the government awareness of this challenge and reiterated the commitment to empowerment initiatives aimed at improving livelihoods. In addition, Mnangagwa addressed the growing issues of drugs and call for strong effort to combat the problem. He also reaffirmed his administration commitment to support war veterans, a group that continues to hold a significant issue in Zimbabwe political landscape. However, while the president remarks focused on governance and development, political tensions continue to unfold in the background. Vice President Chiwenga has recently taken a more vocal stance on issues of corruption. He has raised concern about alleged misconduct involving a certain business figures linked to a political elite, urging that national resources must be protected for the benefit of the ordinary citizen. His comments have reportedly dissonated with the section of the Liberation War veteran, and some of whom have expressed opposition to propose that could extend Mnangagwa's tenure. This brings into focus the ongoing debate around CAB 3. The proposed constitutional amendment has sparked widespread discussion as it seeks to extend the current presidential term from 2028 to 2030, will also prolong the life of parliamentary and introducing changes to the key constitutional provision. A group of 54 war veterans recently submitted a formal petition to the Senate urging lawmakers to reject the bill. In their submission, they add that the proposed change could undermine citizen voting rights and should instead be subjected to a national referendum. They have further warned that passing the bill will not broaden a public consultation could have serious constitutional implications and potentially harm public trust in governance. The bill has already passed the public hearing and is expected to be debated in Parliament in the coming weeks, setting the stage for a potentially significant and political moment. Political analysts suggested that the debates around CAB 3 cannot be separated from the broader succession questioning within ZANU-PF. Some believe the proposed change could influence the balance of power within the party, particularly as different factions position themselves for future. Much like in a final years of Mugabe's leadership, the absence of clearly identified succession continues to create uncertainty. Mnangagwa's decision not to publicly name a successor has left room for speculation, while internal division appears to be slowly surfacing. Against this backdrop, the apparent fall of Obert Mpofu serves as a reminder of how quickly political fortunes can change. Once a central figure in a historical transition, he now appears to be on the margin of the very system he helped shape. As Zimbabweans moves forward, the evolving dynamics within as ZANU-PF will likely remain a key factor in shaping the country's political and trajectory, whether these tensions will lead to a further realignment. Ndizo news dzatakabata munozoona sei kuti panobudika here Obert Mpofu atidzoka here muZANU-PF achimira sezvo ndiwo vanhu vakanyanya kushanda pa2017 asi iko zvino vaiswa kwakadaro uko nekuda kwekuti akabviswa paposition yake achinzi ari kufevhera VP Chiwenga. What's your take on this issue? What's your take on this news? Ndizo news dzatakabata dzava Obert Mpofu uregera kuwanika pazviitiko zvakawanda zveZANU-PF and ZANU-PF haisi kuda kutomo explaina nhau yacho vanenge vakatopiwa warning. Ndizo news dzatakabata.